Hello, I'm Joyce Mass, Bloomscape's plant mom. Today, we're going to be talking about watering your bloom kits. When and how. Trying to figure out when to water your bloom kit can be a little intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. As far as checking the soil goes with your watering, you would do the same thing you do with indoor plants. You can either try the top of the soil and push your finger down there, or if you're really concerned, you can lift the pot up a bit and check in the drainage hole underneath, because that's actually where the roots live. So if that feels dry, you certainly want to give it a good watering. There's a difference in the amount of water your bloom kit will need depending on the age of your plant. When you've just planted it, you want to make sure you give it a thorough watering. However, it will not dry out as quickly because the roots aren't all the way down to the bottom of the pot yet, and it doesn't take as much to sustain that little plant. When you have a fully grown plant like this one here, you will definitely need to water the larger plants much more often. A plant in full sun will definitely need to have more water than a plant in shade. And those roots are actively providing water for your plant so that there's transpiration going on continually as your plant is growing. Of course, in the shade, you still need to water and to make sure the soil is nice and damp, but that they aren't using as much water as they would in the sun. Watering on a schedule, that's a topic for debate. I like to water when my plant needs it. You probably can water on a schedule, but you want to make sure that you're always checking your plant. When your plants are young, rainwater could be sufficient. You want to make sure it's not just a light drizzle, but there's a good, solid, gentle rain coming down. Now, when you have a fully grown plant, one of the problems with rainwater is that when it hits the plant, it kind of dissipates and flows off the foliage. That water doesn't penetrate into the soil. You may need to do an added watering, even when you've had rain, to make sure that soil is nice and wet. But when you see that water flowing out of the bottom, you know that the water is close to the roots and there's enough hydration. One of the best ways to tell if you've watered your bloom kit enough is to see that the water is flowing out of the drainage hole. Drainage holes, that's always a big topic with plants. I feel that all plants grown, indoor and outdoor, should have drainage holes, particularly for outdoor plants. If your pot doesn't have a drainage hole, I would recommend drilling a hole carefully in the bottom of the pot using a recommended bit for whatever material the pot is made of. Now, all your bloom kit pots will come with saucers, and the reason we've done that is because for a couple of reasons. You can use them for indoor once the season is over, so you don't lose that pot. Another reason is if you live in a high-rise or an apartment building and it's not appreciated to have runoff water, you want to make sure there is never any standing water in your saucer. But generally, if you don't have an issue with runoff water, we suggest no saucer whatsoever. Now here we have a watering can that has like a rain shower head on it. So as you can see, when you water, you may not be getting enough water down to the soil. So this watering can also comes with a different attachment. And here we have an attachment that is much more directional. So what I'd like to do, use this spout and kind of gently lift up the foliage, and you just start watering on the soil itself. You can also water from up above here because it's quite directional, but to ensure that you get enough water everywhere, you also want to spend most of your time lifting up the foliage and watering. And you'll know you've watered enough when you see the water come out of the bottom of the drainage hole. Now that your plant is fully watered, if you have any other questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Grow How team at bloomscape.com or check out our videos on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for stopping by and hope to see you soon.